So Kharmika is a real estate broker. She didn't originally start in that field, but so I'm kind of interested to hear how she got into that. And hey, Kharmika.
Hey, sorry.
You chilling in your bed.
I was like about to go to sleep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know this is it went a little long today, but that's all. It's all good.
Tacos earlier, and they were just like about to take me
out. It got you tired. So what's going on with you? How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing well. Staying positive, intending to stay positive, and intending to stay grateful. So that's how I've been answering that, because I think it's okay to say, like, this isn't a good time, for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm looking at. I'm not laughing at your response. I'm laughing at Lourdes with the tacos.
I know the tacos and
She's talking about, that's my girl, real estate broker girl. Yes.
Such great energy. Like best right person right now.
So what are you working on creatively right now?
Oh, thank you for asking me that. Well, I think with the downtime, or the just kind of imbalanced time, I get to work on my blog more, Live Love Durham, and just focus more on like what I want that to look like, have more regular content, because it was created in order to, well, at the time, the Triangle was, and probably still is to an extent, really oversaturated with other real estate agents, which I could tell you the difference between a broker and an agent.
Please tell me, because I don't know.
Yes. So a real estate agent is just the technical term for anyone licensed in a state to buy and sell, to practice real estate. But a broker is someone who has finished all the levels of education. So you can do 75 hours of pre-licensing, is what we call it, and be a provisional broker, and then you have to do another 90 hours of post-licensing and to be a full broker. So if you see someone with the term broker, it means they've done all their education.
Okay.
But a real estate agent, a provisional, that's the one who hasn't, they're considered a real estate agent. But it's just
they may not know what they're doing.
Yeah. Like they're licensed, but they maybe aren't, they haven't fulfilled all the education yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've been able to work on my blog, livelovedurham.com, more. I have some new posts coming out. But as I was saying, I started it so that I could distinguish myself from the many, many, many real estate agents that are out there. Some are very transactional. Some have been doing it for a long time. Some have just started. Some use technology. Some don't. Some already have a following. Some don't. So I just thought about ways that I could add value to a community of people that I wanted to basically then become my clients, or people that are interested in what I'm talking about.
Yes. So you do both commercial and residential, right? So how'd you get into that?
Yeah. So, I mean, real estate, you can do whatever you want to do. So part of getting into commercial was just saying that I do commercial and reaching out to people that have commercial real estate interests. Same with residential. I would say in the whole real estate education field, there's more of a focus on residential, and there are more residential agents. It's just kind of like more of a lower hanging fruit. The transactions close a lot quicker, perhaps between like anywhere 15 to 45 days, versus commercial, you could go like 2-3 years, sometimes 10 years if you do it international, or if you're starting a huge project from the ground. So it's just finding, like any business, like you have to find your customers, you have to promote to them. You have to know what you're talking about. So just starting is the first way to get into it.
What would you say is your biggest lesson learned since being a real estate broker?
Well, I think that which is something I'm still learning, is not to have a scarcity mindset, but an abundance mindset. So, just knowing the great life lesson, right? That's why I think I'm still learning, because it applies to everything that you do. Like, you can't wake up and say, man, I'm willing to deal with mistreatment or go after bad transactions or go after anyone or continue toxic relationships because I need this transaction to close or I need this money. It's like, people come to me, good energy comes to me freely and with abundance. And I just have to believe it. And I have to believe that whatever I need, I can just go get, and I will get it.
Yeah. Wow. So, one of my friends asked earlier, it was from the previous IG Live. She asked, how or like what tips might you have for, so she owns property. I own a property that I'm renting. I used to live there, and I'm really sad about moving, but you got to embrace change.
Housewarming.
Yes, but
Lourdes invited me to your housewarming.
Shout out to Lourdes for making connections. So like, as people who own property, or people who are interested in renting out their properties, I know a lot of people may be afraid of that, but I actually found my renter in the middle of this. And so that maybe is a way to say, like, don't be afraid of it. But what would you say, what would be the tips that you would give for people who are thinking about renting and kind of thinking about dealing with renters who may not be able to pay their rent?
Yeah. Well, I would say one of the things about having an investment property, just like, having your own household, is to have emergency funds if you can. But I also think that the requirements, if you have a formal property management firm that's helping you get tenants, vet tenants, those people have to make 3 times the amount. A lot of times the industry standard is that you make 3 times the amount of the rent in your gross monthly income for that reason, for that cushion. So it's great that a lot of, countries have allowed people to not pay their rent, or they've put a freeze on rents, or they put a freeze on mortgages. Unfortunately, capitalist America, built off of stolen labor on stolen land, a lot of us don't have savings. Even if we have an investment property that we bought, we are not going to be able to weather the burden of someone not paying their rent for 3 months. And to that, I just say, everything is cyclical. So you might have a season where someone did not pay their rent on time, or they weren't able to pay all of their rent. I would have that conversation with your tenant and maybe allow them to do half their rent, or, something where you're still getting recouped, because unfortunately, we don't have a safety net in this country for anybody. We don't have it for renters. We don't have it for landlords, unless you're a self-made millionaire, or a millionaire like our president, a not self-made millionaire, billionaire, whatever. You don't have it. Even if you did have enough wealth to actually buy your own place and maybe go rent somewhere else, I think it's very unlikely that a lot of us have 3 or 4 months worth of reserves to just be like, no, you don't have to pay your $1,200 rent to me. No, it's fine. So I think we can have human conversations with our tenants or our landlords, whichever side you're on, to say, what can I do about this? I legitimately had a job a month ago that now I'm not essential. How can we fix this? How can we work together?
Well, that, and just for people who I know people are also trying to figure out how to navigate the
SBA share.
stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stimulus package. And so there are websites that you can go to. So say you're a small business owner, you can go to SBA, that's the Small Business Association, sba.gov, and they have this like PDF that you can fill out that allows you to get paycheck forgiveness, or like basically paycheck protection. So it pays for it. It gives you money so that you can pay your employees. So it has to be 75% of that funding goes to your employees' paychecks. And then they also have some grants or loans that basically are no interest loans that you wouldn't have to pay back. They call them loans. That's the easiest way to and the quickest way to give them out, but you actually wouldn't have to pay them back based on certain qualifications. Yeah, so I mean, those are other ways, and then talking to your bank about mortgage forgiveness. But what I think people need to be careful with that, because like you talk to your bank about not paying your mortgage, that doesn't mean you're not going to owe that money. It just means your mortgage is going to be longer to pay off. So you got to be careful with that. If you have the money, then I would suggest people pay rather than not, because then you're just going to get deeper and deeper into debt.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, people, small businesses that truly do have a payroll, or small businesses that truly are decimated by this, should absolutely apply for those forgivable loans and paycheck protection through your local bank. But that's where having the conversations come in too. You know, especially if you're a private owner, it's just, can we really rely on our government to protect us? Are they really giving us the good guidance? A lot of times, even free resources or helpful resources have a very high level of user error, or like lack of understanding. You know, however many times you've gone to the IRS website just to do one thing and you can't even figure it out. Unless you work there. Even people that work there, like, I don't know how to, you know. So I'll just say, like, you know, use your time wisely, really weigh what you need, really weigh like both pros and cons of every action you take right now. And I would not rely on the government to help us through this, because we know they knew about this. We know that people profited from deaths, profited from this pandemic going crazy, and didn't think that just telling regular everyday Americans that, you know, how to prepare or anything. So
yeah,
I am apprehensive about whatever the government's rolling out, me personally.
Well, I mean, somebody said the government ain't never helped anything, so I don't trust them. I mean, that's an interesting thing that I always thought was interesting about Democrats, was that, and Republicans, right? So Democrats rely very much on the system and it working well, and it's, you know, we got to work within the system, use the democracy, and the government is supposed to provide these resources. But the government oftentimes are the people who are perpetuating the inequalities that we are experiencing, and oftentimes all the red tape. Like, they may provide a service, but then make it so difficult and for people to access it that it's not even worth having, right? And then on the other side, you have Republicans who don't believe in big government and don't believe in providing these resources. But the second something happens, guess who's the first one to call?
Yeah.
And they're the ones who benefit.
And a lot of Republicans, or people that lean towards conservatism, are very much also heavily on the Social Security net that this country has. Very that it has.
Well, so what have you seen on social media that's like funny this week?
So that's a good question. I think these little challenges are funny to me.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how many, like the Don't Rush challenge, you know, I didn't know how many like different scenarios you can have of people like dressed down but then dressed up, and then like doctors and people in
All I
fraternity.
ask is that y'all don't tag me in them because I won't do it. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it, but I do like looking at them. There's been like just a multitude of different scenarios of people not rushing, and
Right. Wait, so is that what is the point of it? So like you're just supposed to what's the point of the Don't Rush challenge?
so what I thought when I saw the first one, I thought it was to be like, you know, we're all in quarantine, we're all at home, we're all looking crazy, but like, let's take some time to get dressed and like see what we look like when we get dressed, and then pass it to our friend who we also know has been in quarantine and or self stay at home orders and stuff. But then I started seeing like other people who actually have a message, so they were like, you know, posting helpful things in addition to being dressed down
Oh,
then dressed.
I don't know.
What's the
Well,
point of each of these challenges?
I don't know. Just to do something to have fun. That's it.
Yeah.
um, well, so I appreciate you for joining in tonight. Thank you so much. So again, how can people check out your blog and follow you?
You can go to livelovedurham.com on the internet. You can go to Live Love Durham on Facebook. You can go to Live Love Durham _ on Instagram. And all of my information is there. So I'm very easy to
All
reach.
right. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
All
you.
right. So next we are going to do a quick game, and um, so the point of this game is for you all to vote on the things that to tell me what it do, if was it funny, or what it don't, was it not. Okay. So the first one I saw was this one. It says, does anyone else have a sign like this in their workplace? Everywhere else, elsewhere, we have a sign that says not to drink toilet water from the toilet because it's rainwater. And then, so the sign says, don't put your hands in the toilet. It contains a sharp device that can cause injury. So is that what it do or what it don't? How would you vote? Let me know how you feel. Y'all have that at your job. Like, I don't even understand, why would somebody put their hand in the toilet? Like, and then they said it's like a sharp object. What it don't, I agree. Like, why? I don't get it. Okay, so next one. When you're in timeout, but your song comes on. Look at this little toddler. He's in the corner, he's in timeout. This is how I would be. You just that's it. Yeah, I agree. That's a what it do. What it do, I agree. Okay. Next, we have Dr. Tony Fauci, Anthony Fauci to you all. But Tony, I call him Tony because, you know, I met him one time and he was very nice. I don't know that song. We'll have to figure that out later. So what do y'all think about him? Everybody's like on his fan club right now. What do y'all think about Dr. Tony Fauci? So for y'all who don't know who he is or who hasn't been paying attention to the news, he is the director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Disease with the National Institute of Health. And he has been going back and forth with our number 45. And now people are like, they have started fan clubs for him. So what do we say? What it do or what it don't? I think this one's kind of fixed because I'm going to vote for what it do because I like him. And also he actually has been very involved in the HIV epidemic and finding a cure for HIV. He's a scientist and has been doing that work for a long time. And he was willing and gracious enough to do a video for me maybe about 3-4 years ago. So back then, nobody knew who he was. I knew who he was, but so now I'm gonna re-release that video and see how y'all feel about it. Okay, next one we have a mashup: Hulk Hogan, Pulp Fiction. What y'all think? What it do or what it don't? What it do or what it don't? How do y'all vote? I recently saw Pulp Fiction for the first time, like 2 weeks ago. Yes, I am late. I am super late. I'm like 25 years late to this movie. I'm like, they talk about don't, what it don't. What it do not. I love it. All right. Last one. Joe Exotica belongs in jail for stealing the top of Hulk Hogan's hair. What it do or what it don't? What it do or what it don't? How y'all feel about Joe Exotic stealing Hulk Hogan's hair? I just think it's funny. All of these memes are just hilarious to me. What it don't. So I appreciate y'all for your time and your energy, for sticking with us on this extra long episode of What It Do Thursdays. If y'all have any suggestions on additional people who should be on the show, please hit me up. If y'all see stuff that's funny on social media, please send it to me. I like to feature stuff every week. Just trying to have a good time with y'all. And highlight the cool things that my friends are doing. And yeah, so I just appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for joining this week's of What It Do Thursday. I hope y'all have a good evening and have a good weekend. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.